Drill instructors / drill sergeants of Reddit, what's the funniest thing you've seen a recruit do that you couldn't laugh at? Had two guys get in a fight in our bay during basic. Drill sergeant made them hold hands and pretending to be on a date all week. Only time they could let go of each other's hands was rack time. They ended up becoming pretty good friends. Edit, thanks for the gold. Same for my cycle. But instead of holding hands they had to be next to each other all the time. Chow hall, formation, sharing a ranger grave during our FTX. Big drill made us redo the bunk order so they would sleep in the same bunk. They had to pull the same fireguard shift and were always assigned battle buddies. Whole platoon got ducked up if they went anywhere without the other. One needed to talk to a drill sergeant and grab the first person they saw. We got fucked up and they got sent back to grab the other. For all 14 weeks. Just when they thought they'd get more than 5 feet apart in the graduation ceremony because the formation was based off of height, Big Drill remembered. So 20 minutes before we graduate and get shuttled onto a bus to get the fuck out of there, our drill sergeants made do on the promise that they'd walk together during graduation. Was fucking hilarious. Difference was the guy who got punched was a giant bitch who threatened you with violence if you even dared consider the situation funny. Hated the kid who punched him until graduation, even though he got punched in self-defense. Dude was a total egotistical pussy. USAF. T, are you finished yet? Trainee done. No, sir. I'm done. T, walks away to avoid laughing. On the topic of names, there are lots of things that are unfortunate to be called when your rank is seaman, due to how it sounds out loud. I'm glad no one ever connected my last name to it. We had some poor souls. Such as Seaman Swallows. Poor girl. Also had a guy with the last name Titsa, Tits, and he was going for the Radovic. So his name was Iktitsa. Then he reached rank 2 and was Ik2 Titsa. Holy shit, I knew this guy. He was in my barracks in Great Mistakes. It was always hilarious hearing him get called on the 1MC. Now, Ik2 Titsa lay to the quarterdeck. There was also a guy with the last name Samples, who had just recently become a seaman. Seaman Samples. That guy hated his life. Edit, thanks for the silver kind stranger. It takes the sting off of how miserable my year at Great Mistakes was. I remember Samples. I went to school with both at GM. I was training to be an FC. I drew a lot of comics in my notebooks that turned all the other sailors into cat versions of themselves. Titsa was in one of them, as a random side character since I didn't know him well enough to make him a main. Also had Schultz and Howard. They got pretty popular among the others in school, and people were always wanting to see the next comic strip. In my basic training class I was a squad leader, which is essentially just a person who does extra chores. Anyways, for reasons unknown, myself and the other squad leaders were doing push-ups in the drill sergeant's office. Now when you do these push-ups you eventually reach muscle failure, so you just sorta hang out there in the front leaning rest and try to bust out another push-up every few seconds or so. We're all in there dying and the drill sergeant says to one of my buddies, Private Hudson, "Tell me what's the difference between basic training and being in prison without missing a beat?" Private Hudson says, "Drill sergeant. In prison they get to watch TV." The drill sergeant cracked a little bit of a smile and then told us to get up and get out of there. Nothing like some extreme physical workout to get your brain firing. Boot camp, MCRD San Diego, had a kid with glasses, very young, did not look like Marine material. He kept glancing up at airplanes overhead during drill. D noticed and asked him what he was looking at. Kid replies, "Airplanes, drill instructor." D says, "Those planes are trying to invade, and only you can stop them. I want to hear you war cry at every plane until it leaves this depot." Remainder of phase I of boot camp consisted of this kid screaming at every plane overhead. Hilarity ensued. Edit, holy shit, my highest rated comment is a story about kid with glasses screaming at planes. I have been apparently reading all wrong until now. Thanks for the gold and silver, and platinum, you awesome bastards. To answer some comments, yes, Marine recruits call dis sir. Story sounded better the way I wrote it, I thought. Yes, the kid in glasses became a Marine. Never saw him again because I went off to SWA West and God knows where he went. We had a similar situation wherein a buddy of mine had to stand at attention and yell, "I want to go fast, I want to go fast, I want to go fast" for about 10 minutes at it. This was at Marine Corps OCS. And since this got some traction, our best moment was pitching tents in the field. The company gunny, a verifiable psychopath, decided it was taking too long. So he had all of us unstake the tents, and then hold them over our heads and says, "Okay, tight." Now go find some trees. After which 300 candidates and 150 tents held overhead sprinted towards the tree line, suppressing our laughter. I watched one candidate in front of me eat absolute shit and collapse his tent while moving at mock Jesus among a wildebeest stampede of floating tents. Ducking glorious. We had a guy who could do a perfect toe touch jump, cheerleading move, and a girl who did a ridiculous little dance. Poe found out about it. Made a rule that no matter what, wherever they were, if he pointed at them just so, they had to drop whatever they were doing and perform their trick. This was done at ridiculous moments throughout the rest of boot. We had this kid who kept pissing himself. One day, after the range, he informs RD that he had shit himself right after showers. Squad B starts to hold back laughter. D, it's not funny. Awkward silence. D, okay, it's a little funny, but we aren't laughing. Man never cracked a smile during the whole thing. What I want to know is, why did the dude keep pissing himself? Holding it too long? A bit soft in the noggin? I doubt that information was ever given. I just thought I'd be a curious cretin and ask. He probably heard that it would get him kicked out and didn't want to be there no more. I remember hearing that when in boot camp. Wanna leave? Shit yo pants. Do people actually do that? I don't know if I'd ever be so fed up with a place that I'd intentionally piss myself and eventually move to crapping my pants to get out of anything. We had a guy in my flight straight up tell RMT that he was going to kill everyone in our flight and then himself if he wasn't removed from the military. So, I think maybe shitting your pants is taking it easy. And that was the day Adrian Pimento was kicked out of the US military. What's that disgusting crap all over your glasses, maggot? I believe it's your saliva, drill sergeant, sir. Closes eyes and waits for death. Oh, he dead. Drill sergeant, sir, he very dead. Buddy of mine told a story when he was at basic. One guy had said yes mum to the female DS earlier in the day, so when they were all lined up, she was going down the line, asking each person if they called her mum earlier. The guy who did was fourth in line, heard the three previous guys say, no, drill sergeant, and then said in all seriousness, no mum edit, thanks for my first silver. I overheard a yes, petty officer. Yes, petty officer. Yes, petty officer. Oh okie dokie. Petty officer had to make a quick about face and flee before he busted up laughing. It was fantastic. I imagine that in Super Mario's voice, making it all the better. Early in boot in MCRDSD we were post-shower and at attention for the hygiene inspection, wearing nothing but skivvies and t-shirts. The D is walking the line checking fingernails and whatnot when one private's hard-on flops out of his skivvies right as the D passes him. The D stops, looks the private in the eye and says, "Private, I don't even like you, much less like you that way. Now put that goddamn thing away before it goes off." The private in question turned purple with embarrassment, and tries to stuff his boner back in his skivvies but is getting flustered as the D starts yelling at him for being an incompetent private and that if he didn't get it stowed in 3 seconds the private would be taking a 10-minute cold shower. Things like, do I have to hose you down like an excited chihuahua? Should I call the vet? Good God, private, is that how you greet your mother at night? Stow your gear, goddammit. Every other private in line was trying not to laugh and the ST had retreated to his office where we could hear him howling with laughter. Private finally gets his junk stowed and the D resumes inspection, and you could see he was trying his damnedest not to bust out laughing. No one got much sleep that night, there were too many gigglers in their bunks and too many quiet one-liners. Edit, should have used recruit, not private, memory is a hard thing to use right. Also damn, this blew up. Glad y'all enjoyed it. I was keeping it together till I got to the line, is that how you greet your mother at night? That's when I lost it in boot. I was about 3 racks away on the opposite side so I could see the whole thing out of the corner of my eye. I damn near died trying not to laugh. What I'm getting from this thread is that military training is like joining a non-consensual improv troupe. Edit, wow, this comment got a lot more attention than I expected. Thanks for both the silver and the gold smile. Not only that, but you get to shoot guns. And see the world. While getting paid. Can't beat that. I knew a guy that was a helicopter pilot in Vietnam, he said it was a beautiful country. Not a drill sergeant, but when I was in basic I saw 3 drill sergeants surrounding a private who was laying down, and they were all screaming, "Go the duck to sleep right now, private. You take a goddamn nap this very second, you poor tired soul." Not exact words, but you get the gist of it. I still wonder how he got himself into that predicament. Caught sleeping. Can guarantee. Better than chanting "stay awake." Stay alive. For a couple hours.